Hi, this is Mariah Rossel with A Journey of Beauty, and I am here today with Nino Maiani, the founder of Map Training. So thank you so much for joining me for a little interview here today, Nino.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here and talk with you, Mariah.
Awesome. So there's a workshop coming up in March 16th through 18th in Boulder, an introduction to your work, but can you maybe start and just talk a little bit about what is Map Training?
Well, map training is a unique way of approaching life through story, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have a story, which I call our old story. And what map training helps you do is to reconcile the old story that may be not working for you as much as you'd like it to be, and put you into your new story, which could be becoming successful in life financially, or being able to create
Mm-hmm.
a novel that you like to write, or a movie, and it doesn't matter what it happens to be, or even if you have poor health. These things, working with map training, helps you to be able to achieve very high success very rapidly within that very unique paradigm of map training.
So map training helps people achieve their dreams. How does it do it? What makes map training unique?
Well, one of the things, it's based on ancient initiatory ritual process, and that's pretty much gone throughout most of our culture. And also through depth psychology and mythology, which I happen to spend, I'm a scholar at it, and been working at it for quite a number of years. And I found it to be a very powerful tool to be able to help articulate what's going on from a soul level. And if you have a way to be able to do that, then it really helps you find what the problems are, clearly work through them, and be able to have the success that you want to have happen.
So what makes working with ancient initiatory rites so powerful?
Well, one of the biggest things is that it helps you work and understand the world of the invisible. And it's like putting your hands together like this, and if you hold them just long enough, you can start to feel this little electricity between your palms. Chinese call that qi. Well, that energy is real. And our relationship with the universe has tremendous impact on one life, either consciously or unconsciously. But most people are usually going through life unconsciously, and so that energy is still going on. But through the law of attraction, they're creating a lot of discord in their life. So what this does is helps you to be able to consciously shift the paradigm, where you're no longer attracting the negative stuff, but you're attracting the positive stuff. And what happens is that you fall in less deadfalls, which is, a hole in the ground that they used to catch bears with. The spikes down on the bottom, and you don't fall in them anymore. You reduce that probability.
Okay, that's awesome. That's super exciting. So what does MAP stand for?
MAP stands for Mobilizing Archetypal Powers. The archetypal powers is the consciousness of archetypes, which is, like, let's say, for example, an archetype would be Zeus in Greek mythology. Zeus has the power of the thunderbolt, so it's a very powerful, very dominant image. And so the archetype of Zeus would represent thunder, lightning, power. So if we wanted to emulate the power of Zeus, we would start to learn the archetypal energy of that particular character. And so we start to very gradually embed that knowledge in ourselves, and it comes out in our actions. So we have more confidence. So if you have Zeus energy, you're very confident, you're very assured, you're more assertive in life. Where if you don't understand that archetype, then nowadays, you're just kind of being thrown to the wind.
Right.
And if you have no tool to be able to guide you through the straits, like a rudder on a boat, a compass, and a map, which is your chart, you never get to the destination that you want to. So our map, which is mobilizing the archetypal powers, helps you traverse the map and get to the place where you want to go.
So an archetype is essentially a mythological creature, a being?
It could be a chair, an archetype of a chair. Your life is like a chair. That's an archetype. It's giving a definition of some idea of how you have been living your life or how you would like to live your life. Like in Greek mythology, we've all heard of the Trojan War.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the goddess Eris, which is the goddess of discord, stirred the pot, created the Trojan War by giving Paris a golden apple. Instead, he had to give it to one of the three goddess deities on Olympus, which is Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera. Well, those are all examples of archetypes. Eris is a goddess of discord. So if we have problems that are going on in our life and there is upheaval, then you can say that the goddess Eris is involved. So the archetype of the consciousness of discord is manifested by the archetype of Eris, the goddess. So that's an example of an archetype. Another one.
Okay. And how do you use these to help your students have transformation? How do you mobilize these archetypes? What does that mean?
Well, that's the beautiful thing of story. We've all heard the story of Snow White. We all have heard the story of Sleeping Beauty. And we find that Disney has sanitized them all.
Right.
So they're all great entertainment. But actually, there's tremendous messages in these stories if you have the lens to be able to see through the shroud that's there, the fog, and be able to pick up the mythological images and the metaphors behind them. So understanding the archetype breaks the what I call the mythic code, because everything's coming in code to you, some cryptic language. And we, as human beings, has really lost our ability to be able to interpret these things. So when you get this language, you're now seeing movies. When you go to a movie, you don't see it just as entertainment, but you're seeing some things in there that maybe the director didn't even catch, and how it brings that movie to life. Or you can find out, why was that movie so exciting and this one over here sucked?
Right. Okay. So
you seeing things that normally the average person will not be able to see. Same thing in relationships. You know, you're seeing something like one of the things I always comment on. If you have an individual that's having a problem, most times people would say to them, "What's your problem?" Well, I always say, "I see you doing this." And so they're playing out their story. And so the soul demands to be seen and heard.
Right.
It's going to be they're seen through discord, through the goddess Eris, or through the empowerment of the goddess Zeus or the god Zeus. Which one would you rather be guided by? Which one would you like to have on your team? And how would you like to access that in your life and make your life more successful, more happy, and really, moving through life quickly, and be able to get to the things that you desire.
Oh, that sounds absolutely amazing. So I see we have a bunch of people that are watching on our Facebook Live right now. So if this is something that you're interested in, let us know. Click the like button, love button, something like that. And if you have any questions for Nino, go ahead and type those in the chat box. I'm going to keep asking a couple more questions, but we really want to make this interactive because it is a Facebook Live. And so type your questions in the chat box, but I'm going to keep asking a few more questions in the time being. So Nino, how long have you been doing this type of work?
Probably over 40 years. I was fortunate to study with indigenous medicine men for about 35 years, 35, 40 years actually. And out of that came the map training consciousness because of my experiences there. My insights into the world just heightened. I could see things really quickly of disasters where they were ready to go off of the cliff because I could see the metaphoric images and be able to interpret them. And then what happened was I ended up having a lot of people ask me to mentor them because I was sharing ideas on how I was conducting my life, and they were very intrigued by that. Right. And so pretty soon I had a number of people start to follow me. Pretty soon it ended up being 10, 20, 30, 100. And now they're all over the world just from basically starting out doing that. I've been through the traditional rites of passage, which most people never get an opportunity to do at all. So I feel very fortunate to be able to have that experience where I could be able to give it to you in a what I call a mythic form. You can step into our training and actually experience these transformational rituals and through the map training system.
That's amazing. So can you tell us a couple of stories about some amazing transformations you've seen from some of your students over the years?
Oh yeah, I can go on for hours on that one. Well,
maybe 2 or 3. Well, no, I'll tell my own story later. Tell me a couple of stories that I can't tell people on my own.
Well, I had this one gentleman many years ago. I was in my office and I heard a knock on the door. And I opened up, and this young man was standing there, and he says, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they told me I need to see you. I go, okay. So I invited him in. And make a long story short, I took him through the rites of passage, and he was having some really hard times, trying to get an identification with himself as a man. You know, and now in our cultures now, moving in from boyhood, adolescence, into manhood is really difficult. There's so many different things that are in the way of moving that masculinity, where it is not seen as this patriarchal thing that wants to dominate. And that's not truly what I feel true manhood is. True manhood has the ability to have a sensitivity into the deep feminine. There's an old saying, I never give a man a sword until he's learned how to dance. When that consciousnthat. of learning how to dance is being able to create the relationship with the archetypal energy of what they call the goddess. And that would in Greek mythology, that would be Gaia, or in Native American Lakota tradition, it would be known as the Maka, the Unchi Maka, the grandmother spirit. And a man who has a relationship with that is a very, very powerful individual. But they're also gentle. They're compassionate. They care about people. And so he makes a long story short with this young man. He went through the whole thing, and he followed me around for over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And now his life is just extraordinary. I had lunch with him just 2 weeks ago, and I see his kids, and he says to me, you know, like, I'm raising my children, my boy and my girl, under this premise here, and the difference is night and day between them and I see the other kids who don't have this knowledge. I have a woman that came to me about 10 years ago, approximately. She was in a horrible relationship she was battered to the point of almost being killed. Self-esteem was really in the gutter, and we took her through the map training. Now she owns her own home. She has just a short distance away from getting her bachelor's degree, and she'll be the first person in her family ever to graduate from college. So that's
lovely.
And then closer to home, I have my own daughter who came to me and said, Dad, you know, can you help me? And a few years ago, I took her through the map training consciously because she was suffering from anxiety disorders. Maybe some people who have had that, and they go to the hospital, they get the sedation. She didn't want to do that, so I taught her the principles here. And I hear it's a person who was scared to leave her college dorm is now teaching English as a second language in Seoul, Korea, and been there for over 2 years. So, I mean, I can go on. Like I said, there's one example after another of individuals that have come on and learned the map training, and it's changed their life. And I'd love to be able to share with as many people as possible.
That's so amazing. I love hearing your stories. So who is map training right for?
Anybody.
Okay. So what kind of problems do people have that they find that they're drawn to doing this work with you?
From a variety of different situations. I've had people that had health disorders, been very sick, cancer, heart disease. They learn the map training consciousness and how it actually goes in and heals the body, because it's working with the consciousness of the soul and spirit. And the soul demands to be seen and heard no matter what. It's going to be either seen through destruction or through an expression of art. If it's another way in our physical body where it's seen is through debilitating disease. So you're seen that way. But it may not be how you really want to be seen. But if we have a way to be able to educate you that you can actually heal your body within and have an understanding, you can actually heal that disease. People that have lost relationships, they get divorced or separation, had lots and lots of people fall in that category, been pretty decimated by the experience, come in and learn how to, and why it happened, and how to grow from that and move into their life in a very powerful way from there. People that are looking to change their financial world. Why is some people successful financially and most people are not? Well, there is a reason for that. If you understand the principles, that you can apply them, and thus it makes it applicable to just about anybody.
So it sounds like it's people who are struggling with some aspect in their life that hurts so much that they are willing to go through the process of doing map training in order to achieve their dreams is really who this is right for.
And that's pretty much everybody, isn't it? I have a lot of people that are marriage and family therapists that are working with me, and they're using this as an additional tool to their therapy. I'm really excited about that. As a matter of fact, I have a therapist in Santa Barbara where I work from that refers me clients because she feels that the map training techniques would be very supportive of that particular individual's transformational needs. So anyway, from 16 to 65 on up. And I've had my oldest client ever that started with me was 72 years old.
Wow.
So it's no age barrier. It's just, I always say, you start where you are. And what we do is we build you the foundation that wasn't built there before, because most people are building life on a swamp. And so you got to build what I call the psychic foundation, which is putting pilings down into bedrock. And that's what initiation did. But it's not done anymore anywhere in the country. And so we're taking it to a whole nother level, taking the modern world with ancient initiatory ritual process ideas, giving you a language of mythology so you can be able to describe it, and then empower your life.
That's so amazing. So what are some of the impacts and results that people can expect out of doing map training with you or your other trainers?
They'll be healthier, wealthier, happier. They'll be living a lifestyle versus make it a living. The lifestyle is that you get up when you want to get up. You make the type of money you want to make. You don't have anybody telling you what to do. Where making a living is, most people have what's called a job. We work from, stands for just over broke, where you work hard enough to keep from getting fired, and they pay just enough to keep you there.
Right.
So if you want to do that, that's fine. If you have a job and you love what you do, that's really great. But this will even enhance that even too.
Okay. And so it's not just for people that want to be entrepreneurial.
No, not at all. So if people love their job or what they do, this will make their environment even better. So it gives them vision. And one of the things that I've noticed over and over and over and over and over and over again with all the students of the time is that they begin to dream again. They begin to dream about things that they never thought could actually manifest for themselves ever. I've had so many people that have come to me that have absolutely nothing, that lived in a tent. And their lives were just not going anywhere. And all of a sudden, through the map training, it just exploded into a world of possibilities.
Yeah. I was one of those students who came to you while I was living into a tent. And then my life exploded into a world of possibilities. So it's been amazing. So thank you. You're
very welcome. And it's been a delight working with you all these years.
Oh, thank you so much. So you have a workshop coming up in Boulder where I'm going to be helping you run a little bit of that.
Yes, you are.
Who do you think, who should come to this workshop?
Everybody.
Everybody. That's awesome.
If you're looking for, or even if you're not looking, but you would like to have an opportunity to look at other options, have other tools in your life that can enhance the things that you're doing. I've had a lot of people that come to me who've already been quite successful, but and they've been referred to me, and they wanted to do the work because they didn't want to sit still. They've gotten to their place where they're at through a lot of hard work. Now, what map training does, though, it leverages hard work with another element over here, which is the world of invisible. So you got to have all these invisible hands coming in and helping you. So you're not doing it by yourself anymore.
Right.
So you're being empowered. And that's one thing I really love about this work. It's about empowerment, not taking power from someone else to get ahead. I take you right to the source. I show you where the gold mine is. I said, bring your wheelbarrow. I have a place where this gold mine is there, and I want you to take your wheelbarrow and your shovel and take as much as you want. The reason I can say that because I live in abundance, unlimited abundance that I can share, that you can share, and that person can share. There's absolutely no scarcity here whatsoever. But if you don't know that, then you live in scarcity because you don't know that this does exist. Once you have the knowledge on how to get there, and that's what the map does, it shows you where and how to get there and come back out with the gold, and also how to get back in again. But this time you go back in with friends, and everybody comes back out more successful, more enthusiastic.
So it's really for people that want to tap into that universal abundance to make whatever it is that they dream happen.
Exactly right.
Awesome.
Exactly right.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And we are going to be doing a workshop in Boulder, March 16th through 18th. We're going to have a free introduction workshop, just 2 hours from 7 to 9 p.m. on March 15th, on Thursday. We're going to live stream that. So anywhere that you are in the country, hop on, watch our live stream. It's free, and then you can sign up for the workshop. There's a link to the Facebook event in the comments here, and it'll be Friday evening, all day Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to have a sweat lodge.
Right. And that's why the workshop is only limited to 30 people. Then we are filling up quickly.
Yeah, and we have a free gift for everybody who signs up.
Everybody enrolls for the member to take the workshop. We'll get my free book, The 7 Secrets of Turning Your Dreams into Treasure. I think you'll find it very, very supportive of the things that you'd like to achieve in your life. I'm very excited about it.